My turn to talk. And I apologize for the late start today. Technical difficulties. And to anyone joining us over on YouTube, Podbean, and Facebook, welcome. Podbean, Twitter, and Podbean. Welcome. Hello, Minnesota. Welcome. Hey, Shelby. Welcome. Hey, Frankie. And again, I apologize for the late start. Rena, welcome. Podbean had me logging in twice today. Hey, Rena, welcome. And I am going to stop it here. Well, let's play a little longer. Okay, so let's see. Today we're going to talk about things we do out of duty, and this topic actually came from Crazy Lady. I forgot what we were talking about last week. I always forget. But she had made a comment about having to do things out of duty. We were talking about funerals or something, and she said, going to a funeral is something that you do out of duty. Hey, Mr. B, welcome. So I actually got this topic from Crazy Lady. And, exactly what is duty? So I'll go through all of my questions. Things we do out of duty. Is it a must? Should we have to attend a funeral, wedding, or a family reunion? Do you have to attend your child's Christmas play? Do we have to tithe in church? And exactly what is duty? Hey, Ninja Buddy, welcome. So, having said that, I'm going to start backwards, and I want to know, what do you all think is duty? I mean, exactly what is it? Is it obligation? Is it a requirement? I mean, what adjectives would you put when you say duty? So if your mom says, well, it's your duty to go over your aunt Sue's house every Sunday, is your mother saying it's a requirement? I mean, is that what duty is? Okay. Brina says duty is like responsibility. So, is it your responsibility to go over to your aunt's house on Sunday? Maybe because she lives by herself and she looks forward to seeing you. Are you responsible to do that? I mean, if again, like Crazy Lady said about, it's a requirement to attend a funeral. Is it your duty? I mean, why? And again, and I'm going to play both sides here, but why? Because honestly, and this is just me. So everything that I say on my show, whatever, is always just my opinion and what I think. But you all pretty much know that anyway. But um, when I die, I don't want someone coming to my funeral because somebody makes them, or well, this was your aunt, or this was your cousin. I mean, come if you want to come. If you don't want to be there, I don't want you there, even though I'll be dead anyway and I won't know who's there or not. But I mean, my how I've always felt is if someone doesn't want to, especially when you're an adult, if someone doesn't want to be someplace, why make them go? Because they'll probably be miserable the entire time. And it's possible, not always, but it's possible that that person will make you miserable also. Now, when you're a child, and I have a couple of questions about the child thing. So, Brina says yes, that's your family, and you should look after one another. But Brina, is my not going to a family reunion not looking after someone? Is my not going to a funeral not looking after someone? And Mr. B says duty is a choice. Okay, he thinks duty is a choice. And Brina says, "Oh no, you shouldn't feel a duty to attend a funeral if you're not close to that person." But even if it were, and I'm gonna get personal here, in terms of family, in terms of how close someone is. Even if it was my grandmother, I loved her to pieces. I spent time with her all the time. Is it still my duty to go to her funeral, even if I were close to that person? So then does duty change just because you only saw that person every 5 years, or every year at a family reunion, or if you saw them every day, or once a week? Mr. B says, if they don't see me, no, if they don't see me, no, please don't come. I'm not understanding that. If they don't say, I'm not understanding that sentence. Shelby says, for a funeral, it is duty for the family. Okay, but so who is the funeral for? And I was going to do a show on funerals, but I think I'm going to incorporate it into this. Who is the funeral for? Is it for the family, or is it for the person who has left us? I mean, because shouldn't we be, you know, either mourning that person or rejoicing in that person's life, celebrating their life? Or are we doing this for the family? I mean, now, okay, so let me go back and read that sentence again. Duty, okay. Let's see. Duty is a choice. Hold on. If they don't see me now, and please don't come. Okay, right. And Mr. B, you do make a point. If someone does not see you now, and no one's coming around now, then is it their duty to show up once you're gone? I'm your case. Yes. Okay. You shouldn't feel duty to go to a family reunion either if it's going to be bad vibes. But Bria, aside from the bad vibes, let's say everybody in your family, all the second cousins, first cousins, I mean, everybody loves each other. But again, is it your duty to show up? Is it your duty to go to that reunion? Is it, I mean, and even, um, I mean, I don't know, because I see duty as an obligation, but why should it be? Shelby says that I agree with too. Okay, Mr. B says I didn't go to my aunt or my cousin's funeral. Not to be rude, but my family has not talked to me for years, so why would I go? It's fake to me, right? Right. So if someone's family is not talking to you, why show up? Because then they'll be talking about you like, oh, he wasn't been around for years, and now he's showing up now. you know. Um, Okay, Rena says to Mr. B, I get that makes sense. Ninja says, no, there's been reunions I haven't attended because I don't want the drama. Okay. Uh, and Mr. B is agreeing, Brina, how are you doing? So, okay, so this is another question that I have, because this is one thing that bugs me. And it used to bug me as a child, and my mother and I used to battle on this one. I was just so defiant, and to this day I never made my son do it. Why is it that children and women children and women are expected to give hugs? Like, oh, there's your aunt, I keep saying Sue, Aunt Sue, go hug Aunt Sue, go hug your grandmother, go hug your grandfather. Um, Children are almost pushed into that. Um, and I don't think that they should. I don't think that they should be. I don't think children should be made to have physical contact with someone. And women are in that same boat. But men, you're able to shake hands, even pat each other on the back, whatever. But with women and children, it seems like it's more of a forced thing. I've always had a problem with that. Uh, let's see. Gabrina says she's great to Mr. B. Okay, B says we should get together more often. I hear that every time, and it's just empty words when certain people say it in my family. When people say that, I mean, Mr. B, I don't think it's just your family. I think with a lot of people's family, even with friends, oh, we should get together more often. They're like, oh yeah, sure. And then as soon as the event's over, you all don't see each other until the next, reunion, or you all bump into each other 5 years later, or until someone dies. Shelby says, I always ask my great niece if I can have a hug. If she is in the mood, she will give me one, or not. I mean, I'm just saying that again, children and women are put in that situation. So is it a child's duty to go hug that uncle? What if that child doesn't like that uncle? I mean, what if what if your wife doesn't like your grandmother? I mean, yeah, you can say, yeah, fake it, just do what you have to do, until we leave, and then it'll be all over. But why should someone have to? And Shelby says, no, no children, no kids shouldn't have to give hugs. B says, empty words is like someone asking you, how are you? And reply, great, you are great every day, all day. Lies. B, I agree with you, because there are some people, when I say, how are you? I truly mean, how are you? Um, and it's funny because one of my friends, they always call me out because they're like, yeah, you said, how are you to that person, but this other person, you said hi. And I said, because I don't want to know how they are. And then you have some people who, you kind of know not to say, how are you, because they'll tell you. And then you're standing there for 5 minutes listening to them complain. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brina knows. Shelby says children have intuition. Yes, they do. But I also believe children have choice. Children have choice. And then B says, yes, we all do. Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, I don't want to hear. No. It's just like And then it's funny because this one particular person, every time they'll say, hi, how are you? And I'll say, oh, I'm fine, or yeah, whatever, and then they're almost waiting for me to say, how are you? And I don't. And I think it's funny as hell. So if this person it happens to be listening to the show, if you do listen, yeah, I just may be talking about you. But anyway, those the people that okay, yeah, you just don't tell me, yeah, nope, don't go there. And Mr. B, and I'm going to ask you, do you think that when you greet people, you should say, how are you? because for some people it is just something that you say. Hi, how are you? It just kind of flows out. I mean, do you think that should be a requirement? Nope. Mr. B says it gives new meaning to fake it till you make it. Yep. And Shelby says nope. Just hi. And sometimes depending upon how who it is, you may not even want to say hi. So I don't know. So again, I go back to um for you guys, can anybody just give me an example of one thing of duty that you see as a duty that you don't like doing? Because for me, it's the hugs. I don't know. And just so y'all know, y'all already know. I've told you I am a germaphobe, a germaphobe. Even before COVID, I didn't want to hug anybody. You say, hey, how are you? I don't need to touch you. I can say hi, without touching you. So uh, no, it's just kind of automatic now. Brina says, yeah, it is. Hi, how are you? Let them add it if they want. Speaking to someone you don't like. Talk to my children when my wife is talk to my children when my wife is very upset. Oh, that is funny. I mean, we all do things that we don't want to do. But over the years, and I probably could say that this probably started pretty early for me. I just learned how to say no, or no thank you, or you know, you should go here because so and so is going to be there. I don't want to go. Um, and even as a spouse, there are some times where it's like I don't want to go. And my husband now knows that there are certain places that I'm not going. That has to do uh, with family. Um, and he doesn't ask me anymore because I don't want to go. I don't have a good time, and I'm not going to sit there for 2 3 4 hours. And no, I don't want to go. And that may seem rude, but I have no problem with saying no. Soft no is very helpful. Yes, it is. Shelby says I have that same problem. That same problem with, and Mr. B gets it. Thank you. Okay, Shelby. Okay. Oh, Shelby's coming out. Shelby. Hey, lady.
Hey,
Oh, Shelby. So, okay. What would you like to add?
okay, when I said I have the same problem, you said you were talking about how you don't like to go somewhere because there could be somebody there that you don't like or don't
Mm-hmm.
want to talk to. I have that problem. There is several members of his family that we just don't get along. I've tried for several years to be the doormat, let talk to them, be nice, be cordial, try to carry on conversation. And I'm ignored every time, or they talk about me behind my back, or they give me dirty looks. So I'm like, I just
So,
don't want to go.
so Shelby, let me ask this: have you told? Okay, y'all, we about to go into our therapy session. So, Shelby, have you talked to your husband about this?
Oh, yes, my whole family knows I don't like to go.
So, would it be a big deal if one day you just said, "You guys go and have fun. I'm going to sit this one out, and I'm going to stay home."
I have done that before.
And was that okay?
Oh, that was a big old mess.
A big old mess with your family, or with his extended, or with his family?
It was with his family. Well, basically with his mother. She was like, "You can't keep running away from these folks. You got to show them that you're the bigger person." And I'm like, "You don't understand what it's like.
You know
I
what,
mean,
Shelby?
you're ignored."
I'm going to tell you. I understand what that is like. I've been in that situation before, and You know, I I hate when people say this. You be the bigger person. First of all,
Mhm.
what the hell does that mean? I mean, seriously.
I
And
know,
it's like,
really.
and then it's like, why should I always have, why are you always telling me to be the bigger person? What about them? Why don't you go have a talk with them?
Right.
So instead of coming to me, so was it a big deal with your husband and you have daughters, right?
I do have two daughters, yes.
Okay, so was it a big deal with your husband and your daughters? Because to me, I look at it like this. If it's not going to disrupt my family, my inner circle family, I'm not thinking about everybody else.
Well, here's the thing. They the two sister-in-laws will go and speak to my children before they would come speak to me.
Well, I mean, you can
And they
either
can be standing right next to me.
you can either continue on, and because my whole thing is this too, because I actually told someone who used to talk about me, they probably still do, talk about me like a dirty dog behind my back. So, one day I was like, I'm not going to continue to go to these functions where these people are talking about me. So whether I'm there, they're standing over in the corner talking about me. Whether I'm not there, they're standing somewhere to talking about me. So I'm just going to do it like this. I don't want to be there anyway. So if y'all want to talk about me, go ahead. But I'm not going to make the effort to get up, get dressed, go through all this fake stuff, whatever, because it's a waste of my time. So
Right.
if it's not interrupting my family or my close friends or whomever else that is close to me in my inner circle, I'm not worried about everybody else, especially people I don't see every day and people that I don't have to talk to every day.
Right.
So that's the way I see it. And everyone, I want to, everybody give Shelby a hand, because I remember when Shelby first came on my show, she was reluctant to speak, and now she's popping up more and more. So I mean, so do you guys think that my advice is wrong, or Shelby? Do you think that my advice is wrong,
No,
or
I agree. I agree. And like I said, there has been a couple of times, especially when it first started, that I did, tell my husband, I'm not going to this. And we would have a not, I wouldn't say knock down, drag out fight, but, we would have words with each other, and he would be like, well, fine then, don't go. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going. Bye. See you later.
but
You
you know what?
know,
Then okay, so Shelby, then let me ask this, because this is how I truly feel. If I asked you to go someplace and you didn't want to go, and yeah, Brina, I'm about to use you as an example. You didn't want to go because Brina was there. Okay, you and Brina, for whatever reason, you all just did not get along. Um, I wouldn't want you to go. I wouldn't want you to go someplace where you're going to be miserable. And I guess that's the side that I'm coming on. I don't understand why people want someone to be around if they're not going to have a good time, because then I think it's selfishness on the other person's part.
right. I don't understand that either. Like my sister and I sometimes have little, I wouldn't say spats, but I understand my sister's point of view. Sometimes when she's like, no, I don't want you to come over right now. So, or I would get the vibe of when we're like texting, well, I don't, that she doesn't want company. You, so I'll tell him, I don't think we should go over right now. So he understands that, but
Hmm.
it's like it's like he's hard headed when it comes to his family.
Well, most people are, but at the same time, you know, this is where spouses or significant others um, have to navigate two families. Um, Sometimes it is that give and take, but if one person is always giving, and I know doggone well that if I were to take my husband someplace and my sister or whomever didn't like him, whatever, and if he knew it, I would probably say to him, hey, this is going on this week, I'm going here, would you like to go? If you don't want to go, that's cool. I understand. And that's it. I mean, I don't want him. I don't want my husband going somewhere. I don't want my son going somewhere where they are not comfortable, or where they're just not going to have a good time. We this is silly, but I had to stop taking my son to birthday parties because he just didn't like birthday parties. I mean, after
Yeah.
we're there for a half hour, he's like, "Mom, can we go?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay." I'm like, "Well, can you stay? Like, can you hang on just another 30? Mom, I really want to go." To the point where he just did not like birthday parties, and like I said, my son, he didn't have birthday parties growing up. He did not want them, and
Right.
he was adamant. So, after that, when we were invited to a party, I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but we have something to do that weekend, whatever," and we just didn't go.
Mhm.
So, Shelby, that's why I say, at some point you can either continue doing this for the next 20 years, or your husband or whatever, they're just going to have to understand, if you want to go over there, that's cool. You all go, truly have a good time. I am fine staying home. I'll go, go grocery shop, whatever. I'll, just enjoy the house, to have the house to yourself for once, whatever. But I, I would just have to say, I'm sorry. I just can't keep doing this.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do.
So, and then Mr. B tells you, Shelby, blame it on COVID.
Yeah, that's what I do.
You know what? That may have worked maybe a year ago now. I don't think anybody really cares anymore. And B says, I am the bigger person. I enjoy eating. Okay, Mr. B's coming up. Okay, B, you have something you want to say? Let's see. Brina says, I want to keep the
Um,
peace.
Monkeypox. You can use that. Monkeypox.
Monkeypox. Yeah.
Not bad.
I
Update.
don't even think that works anymore. I don't think anybody cares. So,
Yeah,
I,
it,
you
it,
know,
yeah, it'll work for a few. Work on somebody. Just make something up.
why can't you just say, you don't want to go because you're not going? I mean, telling your, you know, tell, or your husband could say, she had another engagement, whatever. But everyone will pretty much know. But my whole thing
Yeah.
is, you know, why? First of all, why would I want somebody around me that I'm going to talk about behind their back anyway? I mean, really? you know.
I tell you what I did
Right.
one time. I I didn't want to go somewhere, and they keep asking me to go. So finally, I went, and I they wanted some attention, so I gave them attention. I was the class clown that day. Oh, I had a lot of fun. That was awkward, but hey, I had fun. So hey, sometimes you gotta show out.
See, that's
Give
that.
us
See,
something to talk about.
yeah, but see, for that, that's too much energy.
Ah, well, I got a lot of energy, so
All right. All right. Minnesota, thank you for the gift. Brina says, I always had to drag my son from the party. I'm like, it's over. Brina, my son. And you know what? And I can say this too, even though this is totally off topic. Living in California, where people literally take their kids to Disneyland every week, they spend, I think, a year past now is like up to $3,000, which I think is ridiculous. Um, and they would take their kids out of school on Fridays, and they're at Disneyland. I am so glad that I had a son who, he's only been to Disneyland twice, and each time once we got there, he wanted to leave. Uh, he does not like crowds. He didn't like standing in line, whatever. Only thing that pissed me off is the fact that I spent all that money getting in, and then he wanted to leave. But I mean, I have been invited to so many places where either the person is obtuse to the fact that I have no uh, joy whatsoever to hang around this person, or I don't want to go. But I just say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not able to go. And if you invite people, my mom always said, if people keep inviting you over and over, pretty soon they'll stop asking you. So Shelby, if you keep saying no, 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 maybe they'll stop
Maybe
asking.
that's what I need to do. No,
Maybe
I
they'll
don't think
stop asking
so.
you. Uh, and then B Shelby says that's a great idea. So yeah, Suey Hugs, welcome. That's an interesting name. So um, again, and Shelby, since you're up here, what do you think duty is?
I think duty is an obligation.
Do you think it's a responsibility, the way Brina said earlier?
Well, yeah, a responsible obligation, I guess you could say.
So do you think that let's see, B says I have only went there 0 times. I have saved so much money after switching to Geico insurance. Oh, so okay, so do you think that okay, let's go away from the family get-togethers and the funerals and stuff like that and the weddings. Let's go to a Christmas play. Do you think it's your duty or obligation to attend your child's Christmas play or recital and what have you?
I do.
You said you did not?
I do.
Okay. Do you think it's your children's obligation to attend or duty to attend their siblings' Christmas play, recital, whatever?
Well, now that's kind of hard. Um, it depends on what age they are.
Let's say they're 7.
Then I would have to say, in a way, yes.
Okay.
My my children always wanted to go to each other's things anyway, so I didn't have that problem. But they were like socialites, so they had to be there for every little thing. But as they got older, or as a child would get older, I would say that would be up to the child if they wanted to go because, you know, homework gets harder as they get older, and if they wanted to study or whatnot, then you can stay home. But if they're younger, I would have to say you have to go because to me it would be uh, weird to get a sitter for you
So
know
is it the sitter thing, or is it more you should go because that's your sister, you should go because that's your brother?
both.
Okay, so okay, B says so. I think supporting each other is important, and Brina says I agree. It depends. Mr. B's in the Christmas play this year. Okay, so and then Brina says some kids are disruptive, so it might be better to leave them home if possible. Okay, so hey, Juju, welcome. So I'm not talking about the disruptive kid. I'm talking about your 8-year old, your 9, 10, 11-year old doesn't want to go see his sister, play Mary in the Christmas play. He just doesn't want to go. He's 10. He's 12. He's 15. He doesn't want to go.
Mhm.
Do you still make them support their sibling?
Not if they're that age.
So what's the difference between a 15-year-old not going to support their sibling and a 10-year-old or a 7-year-old?
Well, like I said, it's a point of a sitter or uh, I just think that they ought to go at that age to support. But at, in my case, they were so close in age; they were both in it together.
See,
So I
that
didn't
was an
really
easy
have that
that was an
problem.
easy out, Shelby. That was an easy out. You see that how she wiggled out of that one? Freedom says yes, it's good to support sibling. I mean, you just went right out the back door on that one. Oh, welcome, Crazy Lady. I'm glad you got your new phone. B says, I tell them mom and dad is not going to be here on earth. If you don't support each other now, you may never uh, will when you become adults. Okay, I get that. So Shelby, then let me ask this. Um, let's say I'm just using I'm just using being an actor as an example.
Okay.
Let's say one of your daughters was an actor, and um, they were touring. Um, I'm just throwing let's say they were in Hamilton, okay, and they're touring,
Mhm.
and they come to your city. Um, and again, your daughters are grown. Do you?
Mhm.
And the other one says, "Well, I don't want to go." Do you? Again, this is your grown daughter. Do you still kind of make her go, or do you say, "Okay, if you don't want to go, don't go. That's your choice."
I guilt trip her into going, especially if the one has been on tour. I will, tell the other one, well, look, she hasn't been here and da 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 da. You really need to come see her. I
But
bet
she
it would
says,
be
"I
worth
don't.
your time.
I don't want to go. I'm not interested in seeing that play. I'll see her. I'll see her when we go to dinner tomorrow night." So what if it was something like that? She was still gonna see her sister, just not in that play.
Oh, come on now, you're supposed to make this easy on me.
No, because you went through the back door on the other one. So
Um, hmm. Well, then I would have to tell her. I said, yes, you'll see her at dinner, but you really need to see this play because it's educational.
oh, you're gonna throw the education thing in there. So guys, my question, let's see, B says I would not, and Juju is asking crazily if you got an iPhone 14. Okay, so but when they are looking for a birthday gift next time, it would be socks. Okay, so shall we, I guess my point that I'm asking is there a difference when it comes to your children and how they support their siblings if that person is an adult or if that person is a child?
Okay,
Eh,
now, but I don't mean to interrupt. When they were younger, they hated to do things together. They just plumb hated it. Now, since they live in different states, they are more apt to get together when the chance arises than when they were little.
Okay, but you're still not answering my question.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm asking. I mean, is there a difference between telling your adult child to do something and telling your child that they have to do something?
Well, yeah, well, no, not really,
Mr.
because you're
B
still
says,
telling your children to do something.
okay, B says, dance around the answer. Yes, she is. She is tap dancing and doing a jig and pulling out the country hat. Okay, see, Frankie says solid as hard question. Shelby, Brina says there's a difference overall. I'm still mom. Okay, so now
Right.
Brita, you're pulling out the mom hat. Okay, so now all of a sudden you're mom. I mean, Shelby's talking about guilt tripping someone and they're so close in age and all this other stuff. But I mean, okay, so you're mom, but I'm an adult. I don't want to see this play. I said I'll see her tomorrow, or I'll see him tomorrow when we go to dinner. Um, I don't want to see this play. So is it more about supporting the sibling in the play, or should it just be about your sister brother is in town? You're going to see them anyway. What difference does it make? What difference does it make
Okay.
how you see this person?
I have something that I want to throw at you.
Okay.
What if that one child that says that I'll see them at dinner tomorrow night has to work that night of the play?
Oh, Shelly, then can I see them after I get off?
Y'all see? That would probably be what that one child says.
Goodness gracious. Welcome, Chris. Oh, Shelby. And then Bria's like, well, it's nice to do. Okay. And Bria says, good one. No, Bria, don't pat her. So y'all having this little love romance thing. Don't pat her on the back. And Shelby's trying to go out the back door any way she possibly can. Let's see. Let's see. Crazy Lady says when Alice was driving truck through Chicago area, he would go see Jade when she was at school there. And I understand that, if you're going to be around, hey, Grant, welcome. If you're going to be around, yeah, I'll stop in. But I'm saying, again, is there a difference between a child, you telling your child to do something? When I say child, under the age of 18, or are you asking your adult child to do something, or are you telling them, or are you making a suggestion or encouraging them?
Well, I would encourage them, to go see each other.
Okay.
I would
All right.
definitely encourage it,
Okay.
when they're grown.
So, okay, so let me ask this. Let's go back to family, the grandma, the aunt, and everything. Let's say there was a family member who, for whatever reason, was in the, well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to use that as an example. Uh, hmm. Let's see. How can I say this? Let's see. I told him to stop. I don't care how old he was. Okay. Minnesota. Okay. Minnesota. You know what I was going to say. You want me? Okay. Okay, Minnesota. Um, Let me give a little backstory before I say this, because Minnesota, it literally just popped in my head, and I didn't mean to say this in an unfeeling way or anything like that. So I hope you know that that's not where I was going. Okay, so Minnesota's brother, my very good friend, my childhood friend, since I've known since I was 14. He was 16. He's been in the hospital for the last 2 months, and I've actually been going back and forth to Minnesota. But what I was going to say was, and Minnesota knew I was going to say this, and it was kind of slipping out of my mouth when I'm saying it, but I'm going to go ahead and finish my sentence. What if you had that family member who was in the hospital, and you didn't care for that family member? You never saw them. You never, and I'm not talking family member, their brother, sister, whatever. I'm talking about cousin, maybe your grandmother, your aunt. Do you think it's your duty to to um to see them if you have never spent time with them before? Is it your duty? Okay, Minnesota says no. Okay, and Minnesota, she knows how I feel about her family. They're like my second family. So not at all if there's not a regular part of your life. Okay, so again, it goes back to, why do some family members get upset when, if it's a funeral or a wedding, that those same people that you have not seen in God knows how long, why are they upset because you don't attend? You don't attend the wedding. You don't attend the funeral. And half the time, I think that people who invite people to their weddings that they haven't seen in a long time, is not so much as them coming, it's more for the gift. But why do it seems like that there's that double standard?
Yes, there is.
So why do you, why do you think that is? Why? And should there be?
I I don't think there should be. I hate funerals altogether. I think that if you don't really know the person that well, and I feel an obligation that if um, you didn't talk to the person while they were alive, why be there when they're dead?
So then is it so if that family member were in the hospital or whatever, do you think there's that same obligation in having to see them?
Right. I don't think that you should go see them in the hospital either.
Okay.
Because
All right.
what if they didn't make the effort either?
Okay, right. I guess this is kind of, what I'm saying. And Chris says, let them be upset is not their life. Brina saying hello to Chris. Funeral and weddings are major life changes. Okay, crazy lady. Now again, um, you weren't here when I said this, but again, as you know, this show is based on um, comments that you made on a different show in terms of duty. But I just don't think that just because it's life changing, that you should have that obligation to go. And Minnesota, thank you very much for the gift. Chris says, I'm not going to care if nobody comes to my funeral. So solid. So Shelby, what do you think about what Crazy Lady says? Because funerals and weddings are major life changes, but life changing for who? It's
Right.
definitely life changing for the person that died, you
Yeah.
know.
Well,
And,
yeah.
yeah, and for the immediate family, and weddings is, yes, it is a life changing for that person who is getting married, but what is it really doing for you? Is it? I mean, why should I have to go?
Right. I mean, I would send something to them, as a congratulatory gift, but I wouldn't. In my opinion, I wouldn't go to something like that, especially if it's like an out of town person. Um, that's just not that's not me. I don't if we hadn't talked in say over 5 years, no, you're not gonna see me at someone's wedding.
So would you still send them a gift if you haven't talked to them in 5 years?
Yes, I would still send them a gift,
Now, see, you are much better than me because if I haven't spoken to you in 5 years, first of all, why are you sending me an invitation in the first place? And number two, why I'm not sending you a gift? So, are you sending that gift out of duty or because you really want to?
out of duty.
I mean, okay, so again, I say that you all haven't seen each other in 5 years, and had they not been getting married, you probably wouldn't have spoken for another 5 years. So, why are you sending a gift?
That's how I was raised.
I will give you that one. I will let you have that one, Shelby. I'll let, I'll let you have that one. I'll
That's what
blame it
my
on,
grandmother done, so that's
uh,
what I think I should do.
you know. Oh, let's see. Chris says those that pop up when they were never really around and every day or on a regular basis, I would call fake. Yep. Brina says so true. Chris says kind of like if you win the lottery, family always come around, or one family member that has money always asking for a loan. Yep.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
Crazy says right, Shelby. Um, Chris says I understand short breaks on a few months for years of not talking, they can poof be gone. Life happens. I mean, Chris, absolutely. So Shelby, I mean, and again, I understand even with the whole thing, that's how I was raised too. But at the same time, it's like, Mom, I'm sorry. Yeah, you may have raised me like this, but because I mean, because and I will say this. How many people send thank you notes or thank you cards?
I do for funerals.
Okay, I send thank you cards all the time. If someone sends me a gift or something, I send thank you cards because I don't do it out of duty. I do it because that's just manners, and I think you should thank people for taking the time out to send you something, or pick up the phone or something and call them and say thank you. I think it's absolutely rude to accept a gift from someone and you don't acknowledge it in some way. So I'm gonna put people on the spot here. Is there anybody in this room here who does not acknowledge gifts? Hey, Ralph William, welcome.
I
Let's
guess I
see.
should start recognizing gifts.
You're gonna be around my thick and thin. Okay. So and Ralph says howdy. So Shelby, so are you saying that you don't acknowledge gifts?
Well, it depends on what the gift was for. If
Well,
it
I
was
mean,
like a happy, if it was just like a small happy, um, and we were, say, the person that gave it to me was with me, I would tell them thank you.
okay, so
Um,
you are still acknowledging. I'm just saying some type of acknowledging. Doesn't necessarily have to be the card, but acknowledge it in some way.
oh yeah, I do that.
Okay, because I have given gifts to some people who is like, did they get it? Can you at
Yeah,
least, say, "Dog, kiss my foot"? Can you say something? I'm sorry, that's something my mother used to say. You can't even say "Dog, kiss my foot."
I'm
Um,
gonna use that one time.
oh boy. So I mean, I don't know. I just think that in terms of doing something out of duty, that if it's fake and it's something that you really don't want to do, then I say don't do it. Ralph
Yeah.
says, I've always had a problem with getting gifts because uh, it felt like an obligation to give one back, and back it turns into a play, but hot potato of gifts. With some people, yes, I do know two people who are like that. So I have said to those people, do not give me any gifts. I mean, don't. I
Hmm.
appreciate the thought, whatever, don't. But for most people, if they give you a gift, I think most people are giving it to you because they want to, and I think that you should at least acknowledge a gift. So, do you all see acknowledging a gift as duty, or just good manners, or something else?
Repeat that question.
Do you think that um, acknowledging a gift is good manners, or do you think it is duty?
I think
And
it's just good manners.
okay, and Brenda says good manners, and Ralph says just buy me food. You know what though, Ralph? If you buy me food, if I buy you food, I would still say, can you at least say thank you, or coffee? Still, thank you.
Hmm.
Because the person's
Right.
making the effort. Okay, Chris says I don't even want a gift from my wife. Just keep the kisses every morning and night. Okay, I'll take your coffee. Yes, and of course. Okay, so I mean, so guys, do you think? Oh, that's my other last question before we wrap it up. Do you have to tithe in church? And for people who don't know what tithing is, that's when you give an offering. Usually, is when they pass the basket around, you're giving a monetary offering. Do you think that you should tithe?
I think you should, because it states, you give your first fruits. And to me, that's what your first fruits is your income.
Okay, all right. Now they do say that, but Shelby, what if this $5 that I was going to put in the offering basket is money that, and I seriously need to put food on the table, or I'm having a problem paying my rent this month, and that $5 has to go towards my rent. Do you still think that there is that responsibility to tithe?
No.
Okay.
In that case, you don't. Now, if you have a job that pays well, and you know you you're supposed to tithe first, and then pay your bills later. But in our household, we always make sure our bills are paid first, and then we tithe. Um, so I mean, it's different for each person. Everybody does it different, but most of everybody, of course, couples that we know, each one does it different.
So, okay, so then let me ask this. So you have a lot of mega churches out there that are extremely rich with extremely rich pastors, reverends, bishops, whatever you want to call them. Um, let's say that you have families out there that are having a hard time. Shouldn't the church turn it around and help those people as
Um,
opposed to expecting them to come and give their hard-earned money when you know that they're struggling? Shouldn't the church help them?
yes, they should, and we have been in that spot before, but it's also they want you to come ask. Basically because it's more of a helping game. Um, they have helped us with budgeting issues. Um, and we have seen, where we've taken the budgeting class that, where our money was going. And we've stopped a lot of the flyaway money, I guess you could say. But we still, of course, every couple still has, financial flyaways, but we've seen where most of it goes and try to stop it. But yeah, the church would rather you come to them and ask instead of, because you never know what goes behind each couple's closed door.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Chris says, then let's do a go around and have all family members tithe to each other every month. He also says, 18 years ago, our church refused to help us when needed with a new baby because we were not married at the time. I will no longer give money to any church. Now, Chris, you're not the first person that I've heard that from. I have heard churches not helping people because they were not married.
Yes,
So,
that is a major issue.
hey, Chill, welcome. So, my question is it the church's duty? I mean, this is a church. You're supposed to love everyone, help everyone, whatever. So, is it the church's duty to judge? I mean, it's like, shouldn't your duty be to help?
It is, but I see their point. My mother-in-law just recently got married about a year ago, and they were attending one church um, that did not like the fact that they were not married. Um, but they found a church home that accepted them, before they got married. And that meant the world to them, which, I didn't like the fact that they were living together, but they were grown, that I can't go in there and tell them, hey, look, there's no shacking up here,
Okay,
but
but how many? Okay, but like, okay, from what Chris said, then Shelby, realistically, how many people are um uh how many people are realistically married in a church, and does the church know that every single person's married?
no, not every church knows. And I'm going to say probably about 85% of couples are not
Okay,
married.
okay, all right. Let's see. Ninja saying hello to Ralph. Thank you, Power Girl. She says good show. And Chris says bunch of mini Joel Olsteins. I mean, and we've heard the story about uh when I don't know if it was Katrina when this happened. So you guys correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Hurricane Katrina? No, 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 not Hurricane Katrina. Because Joe Osting's in Texas. When they had that power outage or whatever they had in Texas last year or whatever, that he didn't want to open up his church. He didn't want to open up his church to help people. So, I mean, is that wrong
Yes.
of him?
Yes.
So then he had the duty to help them. So Ralph says, I kind of understand charity to the church to keep the church going, but how about donating solar panels to cut down on electricity costs, food banks for church, etc.? Ralph, living in California, I have solar, and can I just tell you, love it. Has cut my bill down. Chris says, yeah, really changed my view. I was raised in church 3 times a week and very involved. Wow, and that changed you. Chill. I am gonna get you. I just want to get through some of these comments. Who does that? It makes me stronger though. So the experience, I became
Look
blessed
all these
stronger
comments.
as a union with my now wife and my God. Okay, yes, her Hurricane Harvey. Yes, Brina, thank you. Um, okay, and
Can
Brina's
you
saying
hear
hello to
me?
Chill. Hey, Chill.
Hey, what's happening, ladies? What's
Hello,
happening?
Chill.
Ralphie, what up, baby? Fellas, what's happening? Um, I don't know that Joe Osteen thing if it was true. I'm not quite sure if it was true or not. I think he kind of came on a talk show and said something about that, how it wasn't true. But I just don't even like when it comes to stuff like that. You just don't even know what the case may be. Like, if I got $1 billion church, I ain't letting no just scraggly people come in there and just mess it up either. I probably can, if I can get you a, if I can help you in another way, I may. I got a, somewhere I can help y'all get into here, or I can help y'all. I'm not unless y'all in my church that that I got to spend another $1 million to fix. I might
Wait, you
understand
you
it
have to
on that.
spend another $1 million? You have to spend another $1 million?
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
he
they
could
should
be.
at least have a distinct area to open up, like
Well,
a
who's
gym
to
or
say?
something.
What I
That's
guess I'm trying to say for those situations is they're always shaky because we don't know the real truth or what's happening behind it, or if it's truthful at all. It's just people on Twitter, boom, boom,
okay,
boom,
okay,
like
forget the gossip and everything. I'm just saying, does a church have a duty to to do that? Do they have a duty to open up their church?
well, ain't nobody got a duty to do anything to no for nobody. And that's number one. It'd be nice if you could, but ain't nobody got a duty to nobody else. Life ain't fair. You know what I'm saying? You got a duty to yourself first and foremost to make sure you good. And a church, you would think that they would do such, in essence of it. But we know that's run by men. Churches have bylaws. It's political stuff in churches to where they may, they can't do certain things, and they stick by those because of whatever politics they have. Even with I think somebody mentioned not giving the money to a single parent household or something like that. They typically have those type of meetings, and I'm pretty sure Solid, and the elders or whoever, they have certain bylaws that, well, this is the stipulations of where we give out money. Because if we just give out all the money to everybody who wanted come in here and said they was pregnant, then you know what because there's probably been situations, and so we're quick to judge from the outside looking in, but we're not asking because that sounds crazy, right? But if it sounds crazy, it probably is crazy. So anytime something sounds ridiculous, you probably should go and research why it's so ridiculous. And so now you go back and research that. All right, wow, well, you know what? There's several people that came in acting like they was married, or like certain situations they went through where they stopped doing that because of whatever to prevent this and prevent that. So you never. I'm not here to judge in general, but it's certain shit that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous for a reason, I think.
Okay.
I mean, it is. It is.
Well, I mean, no,
I
It is
I
guarantee
mean,
you.
no,
ridiculous,
I
yeah.
think, oh, okay. No, I mean, I did ask, and I think we kind of got off into the political thing. I was just trying to keep it with, just a generic, simple question about, you know, duty. So again, you know, uh, like Chris said that he, uh, 18 years ago, the his church did not help him when he needed it because he and his wife at the time, he and his wife were not married, and they would not help him because they were not married. So, should a church, pick and choose? Should anybody, pick and choose? So again, when it comes to duty, are we looking at obligation? And let's get off the church thing because I don't want to get into the, somebody said this on Twitter, whatever. I'm just saying, do we
Hey, I'm
have
speaking about duty though, right? I'm speaking about the duty. What type of duty the church have to help you. So where's the cutoff? Where's the line? First and foremost, so there has to be something there.
Yes,
We
yes,
can't
but
get
okay,
everybody
right,
money, right?
right. And I'm not saying that, but one thing that I do know is a lot of these churches were not. It's not like the elders, whatever. They're the ones that built the church. If it weren't for the people there who were tithing, who were volunteering, who were
Hmm.
giving towards the roof fund and all this stuff, these mega churches would not be the churches that they are, because you have, I mean that goes with anything, but I don't want to get off into that, because that's a
Hmm.
whole different topic. That's a whole
But I
different
think
topic.
that's what
So I'm
you
going to
would have to
swing it.
get into.
Well, no,
So
I'm not.
that's good.
I'm not. That's
I
but
got you. I
that's
got you. But I'm saying, but that's begs the question. Those things matter when it comes to the politics. Matter when it comes to
well.
the
I mean,
money going
well,
out.
yes. Okay. Well, then okay. You're making this a lot more complicated
I
than
know what you.
it
I know,
was.
but it's the truth because I just know growing up in churches, I know how it is.
No,
So
and I mean,
you
and
know,
and I understand that growing up in church and what have you. And one of my questions was, do we have to tithe in church? So I'm going to swing it back over to the family, and I'm going to go back to the weddings and the funerals and the Christmas plays and stuff like that. So I don't want to get into the whole political thing. And so I'm just going to say this, in terms of what we feel like doing personally, on a personal note. Um, and Shelby, I'm going to go to you again. If you feel that you don't want to go to your family get togethers because of what you said in terms of how your family is or how your husband's family is, I say stay home. If you don't feel
Okay.
that you don't want to do something, don't do it. I don't think that you should be obligated to do anything. Um, I don't think children should be, like I said earlier, I don't think children should be forced to do certain things. Um, uh,
what kind of
I
things
think
was that? Solid.
what will.
What kind of things? Like me when you mean forced to do things?
Well, again, and I am about to end this show because my shows are an hour. So, but forced to do what you missed earlier. I said children and women seem to be forced to give the hugs where men don't.
Oh,
I don't,
gotcha.
I don't think that children should have to do that. I think that if you say, you got to go over Aunt Sue's house, and for whatever reason, your child is seriously giving a lot of, I don't want to go, and they are serious and they're in tears and stuff. I'm not making that child go. I don't think that's right. I don't care if it is,
But solid. Nobody want
grandma,
to go to their grandmama house.
whatever. So if they're,
Don't
putting
nobody
up
want to go to their daddy
a
house.
fight, whatever.
It's too late to make an argument now.
So, you know what?
So you gotta make them go. You gotta make them go. They're gonna be crying. Of course they'll be crying. But you can't not. You say,
No,
"Oh no, you ain't gotta go today."
no, 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 no. Because sometimes, Shelby, were you the one who said this earlier? That sometimes kids have intuition, and
Intuition.
Oh hell no.
sometimes things could be going on where they don't want to go over Uncle Joe's house, or they don't want to go over so and so's house. There could be something going on. So instead of making them go, why don't you try to find out? Well, why don't you want to go? Because there could be an underlying reason. But anyway,
You right.
but that's just me. But guys, I'm going to end the show. I said I was going to keep my shows to an hour, and this is the first time I've gone over. And
Bah humbug.
Chill
Bah
Will
humbug.
Chill Will came on. Well, I'm sorry, Chill. You came in like 2 minutes before
Boy,
the show.
I'm just saying I had to work.
So all right, so but tomorrow, guys, I have another one for you. I have another what if, and this deals with medical. So again, this show was inspired by the only crazy lady, so thank you very much, ma'am. And let me just go to the rest of the chats to make sure it's duty to tip your waiter or waitress. Ralph, see y'all, you and Chill. See now you asking me stuff. I'm trying to end the show. Is it duty to tip your
Well,
waiter?
it's not even. You going
You're
against the grain though. It's not. If I feel like you shouldn't even end it. You
no,
gotta get
no,
it.
but no,
Some
no,
days it's
I
gonna be
no,
ours. Some
no,
days it
no,
ain't gonna be
no,
ours.
no. But I have made a commitment to this because I do have something else that
Mm,
I have to do. I have
yes.
so. Um, is it your duty to tip your waiter or waitress? Salad, Chris says, needed food and temporary shelter. Our son was premature at 3 pounds, and wife spent 45 days in the hospital. I got I had got severely hurt in work and lost my job. And see, I'm sorry, Chris, but I do think that the church could have stepped in and helped you whether you were married or not. My family don't feel me vegan, don't feed me, okay? Duty is one personal sense of responsibility of things. Boo. Okay, are you saying boo because I'm ending the show, Ralph? Or trying to see, thank you, everybody. If I have to suffer, so do they. That's a while. That's another topic. Fun show. Thank you, Brina. Chill. Will pay for your tie. Yeah, I bet he
Uh,
will. I
I'm just
enjoy the
saying
show.
though. I really would like to address this
Part
other
two.
topic.
You know what? The tomorrow is actually going to be kind of a part two to today,
All right,
sort of,
we'll address
kind
it
of, but not
tomorrow.
really. But it could. So, but I do want to say this: should you tip your waiter or waitress?
Yes,
20%.
I would have
because
to
they
say
make
I
so
would have to
little.
say yes because they don't make a lot, and sometimes they work their butts off, busting the tables and stuff. And not only that, I also think that, and because I never know if this is true, the people, the bus boys, the bus girls, whomever is wiping the tables down and coming to collect the dirty dishes and stuff. I also think that they should also, I mean,
Well,
I think everyone in that industry is underpaid. So I definitely do. Um,
they you're tipping your waitress, but those tips go in a jar, and at night they have to split those tips among the dishwasher, the busboy, and the
The
bartender.
bartender. Sometimes they don't.
wait. So you're saying, okay, so let's say you had a party of 12
Hmm.
and this person tipped you, the waiter, $200. So you're saying that I understand splitting it between the cooks, the busboys, everything. But are you splitting it with the other waiters also?
Not the other
No, it's just
waiters. You have to split that tip amongst the
the busboy, the bartender.
mhm.
Okay. But okay. All right. Got it. Okay. No, but yeah, because people in the service industry, they don't, yeah. Brina says, nobody split tips with me when I was a dishwasher. Mostly, not all, very few do that. I heard that.
Around here they have to.
Okay. So I'm not sure what they, I mean, I mean, I don't know because I don't eat out a lot. I
They
don't,
make money now. They make
yeah.
money. It's a reason why they get paid below minimum wage.
So
Depending on where you at, you can make some bread being a
until
waitress,
it
especially a
gets,
pretty lady.
right. No taxes, right, until it gets to 600. When it's over 600, and you have to pay at 150 a night. Okay, everybody. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you very much, Miss Shelby. I'm so impressed with you. I'm telling you, when Shelby first came on the show, she was like, I would say, "You want to come up?" Well, no, I don't feel comfortable. Now she's like, "I want to say something. I just want to say." So yeah, so Miss Shelby, she done got her mojo on. So
All right,
thank
y'all.
you,
See ya.
and Jill, thank you for Jill, thank you for popping up. Chris, everyone, thank you so
What
much
up,
for coming.
Chris?
I do appreciate you, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your day or evening wherever you are in the world. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye,
You
Shelby.
ain't
So,
never cash at me.
Chill
Bet
Ralph,
$5.
Ninja, Power Girl, Brina, Frankie, thank you all. Minnesota, Shelby, Juju was here. Thank you all. Miss Brina, Crazy Lady. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.